What's the main objective of this lawsuit? What are you guys seeking?
Well, as both George and Amanda have said this morning, and as I've said, the lawsuit seeks to redress the wrongs they both suffered for speaking up and not following the pattern that many at HPD and in the county had designed to kind of ignore the problems of the bat fans. But the lawsuit is larger than both of these individuals in that we all in today's age hear of and see the abuse of power and what it can do. And this is a very classic example of two very fine scientists. You know, I've been involved since the beginning, and I've witnessed the lengths to which the district attorney's office and the administration have gone, the lengths to which to discredit, defame, and disparage both Amanda and George for the excellent job they did in making public the problems that were persisting with the bat van despite their attempts within HPD to fix the problems. These are two very fine scientists who have suffered greatly because of this retaliation, and I am thankful that Mr. Scott and his law firm have found a vehicle to redress these wrongs.
What are you guys expecting from the lawsuit? Specific money, a range of monetary damages, or?
The lawsuit itself sets out the request for damages, but this isn't a case where George nor Amanda are seeking to get rich. What they're really seeking to do is draw the public's attention to a wrong that they suffered, to both compensate them for what happened as a direct result of the retaliation they suffered, and to ensure that other similarly situated citizens don't suffer the same type of retaliation in the future.
And what do you think? I noticed Emmett and folks were also named. What was your concern about the county's role in this? The fact they got rid of maybe transferred Lone Star to DPS, or where does you see that?
Well, the lawsuit speaks for itself relative to the allegations of various individuals and entities involved. In a lawsuit like this, and Mr. Cook can comment more artfully, there are very specific legal requirements as to what is redressed regarding in their capacity as an elected official and what is dealt with individually. The county is named in the lawsuit because it's the umbrella, it is the entity that ultimately is responsible for the actions of various employees that are done under the color of law. So it's not a lawsuit against any particular commissioner or the court, etc. It's just the fact that the way our county government's set up, if you have a lawsuit against the county, by nature, the Harris County Attorney's Office, the Commissioner's Court, etc., has involvement in that lawsuit.
How does that change? Lykos lost. She's out of the office in 2 weeks, and you have a new person coming in. Does that, the fact that she'll no longer be an elected official, does any of that change the dynamics of how this goes forward?
Under my very minimal appreciation of the law in this area with the sovereign and the issues that this lawsuit addresses, I don't think so, but I'll let Mr. Cook address that specifically.
No, I think the bigger issue is making sure that citizens can speak publicly about matters of public concern without fear of retaliation. That's the heart of the First Amendment, and that's what this case is about.
What about the timing? Similar to what she just said, but the timing right before the holidays, right before Lykos administration exits.
The timing of any lawsuit is always subject to some scrutiny, and frankly here, Amanda and George have suffered in ways that through the course of this lawsuit will be brought out at the proper time. But suffice it to say, there was the real fear, as you could tell from the lawsuit, that it's no secret that there are allegations that the district attorney's office under Ms. Lykos sought perjury charges against Ms. Culbertson. And that'll have a rather chilling effect on a citizen when the elected DA has made it known that she is seeking to indict you for perjury. That chilling effect led to what I think are very natural questions in Amanda and George's mind about what would happen. I mean, if we file suit against the elected DA, I mean, it's for retaliation. What's going to happen then? So the timing is more about not addressing the legal matters that Mr. Cook had to evaluate and getting the suit together and filing it, all his due diligence. It provides them some comfort. I don't think that either George or Amanda believe that the Lykos administration can, in the last 10 days of office, manage to charge her with some fictitious crime that was floated many months ago. That entered into their decisions as to when to file. They would have liked to, I think, file a lot sooner, but out of respect for the related grand jury investigation, they both followed my counsel in let's talk through things with Mr. Cook. Let's make sure the timing is appropriate from a legal standpoint. He's the expert in this field, and we'll trust his judgment. But from an overriding concern standpoint, they felt much more comfortable, given what they've already suffered, in waiting until the end of the administration to give themselves some, I think, well-deserved comfort that they were not likely to be retaliated against anymore.
Scott, I mean, just to clarify, what field, I mean, what is the special niche field of law this suit appears to fall under that Chip says he's not?
Sure, this falls under labor and employment law. I think that'd be the area of law that describes this kind of lawsuit.
Anytime you have a labor law, employment law dispute, and it deals with lawsuits against a public entity, it's a whole separate part of the niche that Scott is very well respected in.
Do you guys think the Batman's, has that situation resolved itself now?
I don't think the situation has yet to resolve itself. Our taxpayers are out a whole lot of money for a very well-intentioned but abysmally failed endeavor. Whenever, and quite frankly, Maya, your station and your cohorts have done a great deal on this to uncover the fact that we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a program, and now these vans are sitting, collecting dust, rust, while our streets, the public safety, the predominant issue as to why we put these in play goes unaddressed. Now we have to do just like the old days. Police officers make a DWI stop. They've got to transport to the city or the county facilities. They've got to go through the legal requirements of reading the alleged perpetrator their DWI statutory warnings. If they refuse, then they've got to transport them to one of the medical providers, LBJ, Bentob, or the like, to do a mandatory blood draw. If those folks at the city and the county would have listened to George and Amanda, those bat vans may very well still be in play. We may be getting the bang for the buck that our tax dollars should have gone for, and our streets would arguably be that much safer because we have the immediacy of the bat vans out near the scenes of these arrests, abilities to take these tests and provide the valuable scientific evidence that all good prosecutors want. Amanda and George went on a cause, stuck their necks out to explain why, from a scientific standpoint, we need these bat vans to be more reliable. We're in court testifying to the authenticity of these tests. We can only do so as a scientist and have the jury respect our testimony if it's done correctly. And that's where this whole thing started. It's a great idea. Amanda and George were very instrumental in implementing the bat van program here. Their criticism was not this is a bad idea. Their criticism was from a scientific standpoint to make these tests reliable, to use these things in court, and to convict citizens for DWI, we have to have reliable testing protocol and procedures. They suggested many ways to correct the problems that were being encountered, only to be pushed to the side, stifled, and ultimately retaliated against because it didn't fit with the program. They, in fact, bucked the system, spoke up, and told the truth about a very important public policy issue, and that, as Mr. Cook said, is the real impetus for the lawsuit. Thank y'all very much for your